Chapter 4 Animal Kingdom. When you look around, you will observe different animals with different structures and forms. As over a million species of animals have been described till now, the need for classification becomes all the more important. The classification also helps in assigning a systematic position to newly described species. 4.1 Basics of Classification. In spite of differences in structure and form of different animals, there are fundamental features common to various individuals in relation to the arrangements of cells, body symmetry, nature of coelom, patterns of digestive, circulatory or reproductive systems. These features are used as the basis of animals classification and some of them are discussed here. 4.1.1 Level of organization. Though all members of Animalia are multicellular, all of them do not exhibit the same pattern of organization of cells. For example, in sponges, the cells are arranged as loose cells aggregates, that is, they exhibit cellular level of organization. Some division of labor, that is, activities occur among the cells. In Coelenterate, the arrangement of cells is more complex. Here, the cells performing the same function are arranged into tissues, hence is called a tissue level of organization. A still higher level of organization, that is organ level, is exhibited by members of Platyhelminthes and other higher phyla where tissues are grouped together to form organs, each specialized for a particular function. In animals like annelids, arthropods, molluscs, echinoderms and chordates, organs have associated to form functional systems, each system concerned with a specific physiological function. This pattern is called organ system level of organization. Organ systems in different groups of animals exhibit various patterns of complexities. For example, the digestive system in Platyhelminthes has only a single opening to the outside of the body that serves as both mouth and anus and is hence called incomplete. A complete digestive system has two openings, mouth and anus. Similarly, the circulatory system may be of two types. One is open type, in which the blood is pumped out of the heart and cells and tissues are directly bathed in it. And second is closed type, in which the blood is circulated through a series of vessels of varying diameters, that is arteries, veins and capillaries. 4.1.2 Symmetry. Animals can be categorized on the basis of their symmetry. Sponges are mostly asymmetrical, that is, any plane that passes through the center does not divide them into equal halves. When any plane passing through the central axis of the body divides the organism into two identical halves, it is called radial symmetry. Coelentratus, Ctenophorus and echinoderms have this kind of body plan. Animals like annelids, arthropods, etc., where the body can be divided into identical left and right halves in only one plane, exhibit bilateral symmetry. 4.1.3 Diploblastic and triploblastic organization. Animals in which the cells are arranged in two embryonic layers, an external ectoderm and an internal endoderm, are called diploblastic animals. Example, Coelentratus. An undifferentiated layer, mesoglia, is present in between the ectoderm and endoderm. Those animals in which the developing embryo has a third germinal layer, mesoderm, in between the ectoderm and endoderm are called triploblastic animals. Examples, Platyhelminthes, two chordates. 4.1.4 Coelom. Presence or absence of a cavity between the body wall and the gut wall is very important in the classification. The body cavity, which is lined by mesoderm, is called coelom. Animals possessing coelom are called coelomates. Example, annelids, molluscs, arthropods, echinoderms, hemichordates and chordates. In some animals, the body cavity is not lined by mesoderm. Instead, the mesoderm is present as scattered pouches in between the ectoderm and endoderm. Such a body cavity is called pseudocoelom, and the animals possessing them are called pseudocoelomates. Example, Asclepianthes. The animals in which the body cavity is present are called acoelomates. Example, Platyhelminthes. 4.1.5 Segmentation. In some animals, the body is externally and internally divided into segments with a serial repetition of at least some organs. For example, in earthworm, the body shows this pattern called metameric segmentation and the phenomena is known as metamerism. 4.1.6 Notochord. Notochord is mesodermally derived rod-like structure formed on the dorsal side during embryonic development in some animals. Animals with notochord are called chordates, and those animals which do not form this structure are called non-chordates. Example, Porifera to echinoderms. 4.2 Classification of animals. The broad classification of Animalia based on common fundamental features as mentioned in the preceding section is given in figure 4.4. Figure 4.4. Broad classification of kingdom Animalia based on common fundamental features. The important characteristic features of the different phyla are described. 4.2.1 Phylum Porifera. Members of this phylum are commonly known as sponges. They are generally marine and mostly asymmetrical animals. These are primitive multicellular animals and have cellular level of organization. Sponges have a water transport or canal system. Water enters through minute pores, that is ostia, in body wall into a central cavity, spongocoel, from where it goes out through the osculum. This pathway of water transport is helpful in food gathering, respiratory exchange, and removal of waste. Choanocytes or collar cells line the spongocoel and canals. Digestion is intracellular. The body is supported by a skeleton made up of spicules or spongin fibers. Sexes are not separate, that is hermaphrodite. That is, eggs and sperms are produced by the same individual. Sponges reproduce asexually by fragmentation and sexually by formation of gametes. Fertilization is internal and development is indirect, having a larval stage which is morphologically distinct from the adult. Figure 4.5. Examples of Porifera, that is Cycon, Euspongia, Spongilla. Examples: Cycon, that is Scypha, Spongilla, that is freshwater spongy, and Euspongia, that is bath sponge. 4.2.2 Phylum Coelenterata, that is Cnidaria. They are aquatic, mostly marine, sessile, or free-swimming radially symmetrical animals. The name Cnidaria is derived from the cnidoblast or cnidocyst, which contain the stinging capsules or nematocyst present on the tentacles and the body. Cnidoblasts are used for anchorage, defense, and for the capture of prey. Cnidarians exhibit tissue level of organization and are diploblastic. They have central gastrovascular cavity with a single opening, mouth on hypostome. Digestion is extracellular and intracellular. Some of the cnidarians, example, corals, have a skeleton composed of calcium carbonate. Cnidarians exhibit two basic body forms called polyp and medusa. The former is a sessile and cylindrical form like hydra, adamsia, etc., whereas the latter is umbrella-shaped and free-swimming like aurelia or jellyfish. Those cnidarians which exist in both forms exhibit alteration of generation, that is metagenesis, that is polyps produce medusa asexually and medusa form the polyps sexually. Example is Obelia. Examples: Physalia, that is Portuguese man of war, Adamsia, that is sea anemone, Peninsula, that is sea pen, Gorgonia, that is sea fan, and Mandrina, that is brain coral. 4.2.3 Phylum Ctenophora. Ctenophorus, commonly known as sea walnuts or comb jellies, are exclusively marine, radially symmetrical, diploblastic organisms with tissue level of organization. The body bears 8 external rows of ciliated comb plates, which helps in locomotion. Digestion both extracellular and intracellular. Bioluminescence is the property of the living organism to emit light, is well marked in ctenophores. Sexes are not separate. Reproduction takes place only by sexual means. Fertilization is external and indirect development. Examples: Fluorobrachia and Ctenophana. 4.2.4 Phylum Platyhelminthes. They have dorso-ventrally flattened body, hence are called flatworms. These are mostly endoparasitic, found in animals including human beings. Flatworms are bilaterally symmetrical, triploblastic, and acoelomate animals with organ level of organization. Hooks and suckers are present in the parasitic forms. Some of them absorb nutrients from the host directly from their body surface. Specialized cells called flame cells help in osmoregulation and exertion. Sexes are not separate. Fertilization is internal and development is through many larval stages. Some members like Planaria possess high regeneration capacity. Tinea, that is tapeworm, and Fasciola, that is liver fluke. 4.2.5 Phylum Aschelhelminthes. The body of Aschelhelminthes is circular in cross-section, hence the name roundworms. They may be free-living, aquatic and terrestrial, or parasitic in plants and animals. Roundworms have organ system level of body organization. They are bilaterally symmetrical, triploblastic and pseudo-coelomate animals. Alimentary canal is complete with a well-developed muscular pharynx. The excretory tube removes body waste from the body cavity through the excretory pore. Sexes are separate, that is dioecious. That is, males and females are distinct. Often females are longer than males. Fertilization is internal and development may be direct. The young ones resemble the adult or indirect. Examples: Ascaris, that is roundworm; Wucheria, that is filaria worm; Encyclostoma, that is hookworm. 4.2.6 Phylum, that is Annelida. They may be aquatic, marine and freshwater, or terrestrial, free living and sometimes parasitic. They exhibit organ system level of body organization and bilateral symmetry. They are triploblastic, metamerically segmented and coelomate animals. Their body surface is distinctly marked out into segments or metameres, and hence the phylum name Annelida. They possess longitudinal and circular muscles which help in locomotion. Aquatic annelids like Nereis possess lateral appendages, parapodia, which help in swimming. A closed circulatory system is present, nephridia, and the singular name is nephridium, help in osmoregulation and excretion. Neural system consists of paired ganglia, singular name is ganglion, connected by lateral nerves to a double ventral nerve cord. Nereis, an aquatic form, is dioecious, but earthworms and leeches are monoecious. Reproduction is sexual. Examples: Nereis ferrotima, that is earthworm, and Hyrudinaria, that is blood-sucking leech. 4.2.7 Phylum Arthropoda. This is the largest phylum of Animalia, which includes insects. Over two-thirds of all named species on Earth are arthropods. They have organ system level of organization. They are bilaterally symmetrical, triploblastic, segmented and coelomate animals. The body of arthropod is covered by kinetus exoskeleton. The body consists of head, thorax and abdomen. They have jointed appendages, that is anthros joint poda appendages. Respiratory organs are gills, book lungs or tracheal system. Circular system is open type. Sensory organs like antenna, eyes may be compound or simple. Statocyst or balancing organs are present. Excretion takes place through Malpighian tubules. They are mostly dioecious. Fertilization is usually internal. They are mostly oviparous. Development may be direct or indirect. Examples: economically important insects are apis, that is honeybee; bombyx, that is silkworm; laccifer, that is lac insects; vectors, that is anopheles; culex; and aedes, that is mosquitoes. And in gregarious pest is the leucosta, and in living fossils is limulus, and is also called as king crab. 4.2.8 Phylum Mollusca. This is the second largest animal phylum. Molluscs are terrestrial or aquatic, that is marine or freshwater, having an organ system level of organization. They are bilaterally symmetrical, triploblastic and coelomate animals. Body is covered by calcareous shell and is unsegmented with a distinct head, muscular foot and visceral hump. A soft and spongy layer of skin forms a mantle over the visceral hump. The space between hump and the mantle is called the mantle cavity, in which feather-like gills are present. They have respiratory and excretory functions. The anterior head region has sensory tentacles. The mouth contains a file-like rasping organ for feeding called radula. They are usually dioecious and oviparous with indirect development. Examples: Pila, that is apple snail; Pinctada, that is pearl oyster; Sepia, that is cuttlefish; Loligo, that is squid; Octopus, that is devilfish; Aplysia, that is sea hare; Dentalium, that is tusk shell; and Catiophilura, that is chiton. 4.2.9 Phylum Echinodermata. These animals have an endoskeleton of calculus osculus and hence the name echinoderms, spiny bodied, as shown in figure 4.14. All are marine with organ system level of organization. The adult echinoderms are radially symmetrical, but larvae are bilaterally symmetrical. They are triploblastic and coelomate animals. Digestive system is complete with mouth on the lower, that is ventral side, and anus on the upper side, that is dorsal side. The most distinctive feature of echinoderms is the presence of water vascular system, which helps in locomotion, capture, and transport of food and respiration. An excretory system is absent, sexes are separate, reproduction is sexual, fertilization is usually external, development is indirect and with free swimming larvae. Examples: Asterias, that is starfish; Echinus, that is sea urchin; Antedon, that is sea lily; Cucumeria, that is sea cucumber; and the last one is Ophiura, that is brittle star. 4.2.10 Phylum Hemichordata. Hemichordata was earlier considered as a subphylum under phylum Chordata, but now it is placed as a separate phylum under non-chordata. Hemichordates have a rudimentary structure in the colar region called stomochord, a structure similar to notochord. This phylum consists of a small group of worm-like marine animals with organ system level of organization. They are bilaterally symmetrical, triploblastic and coelomate animals. The body is cylindrical and is composed of an anterior proboscis, a collar and long trunk. Circulatory system is open type. Respiration takes place through gills. Excretory organ is proboscis gland. Sexes are separate. Fertilization is external. Development is indirect. And the examples are Balanoglossus and Saccoglossus. 4.2.11 Phylum Chordata. Animals belonging to phylum Chordata are fundamentally characterized by the presence of notochord, a dorsal hollow nerve cord, and paired pharyngeal gill slits. These are bilaterally symmetrical, triploblastic coelomate with organ system level of organization. They possess post and anal tail and closed circulatory system. Table 4.1 presents a comparison of silent features of chordates and non-chordates. Notochord is present in chordates. Notochord is absent in non-chordates. Central nervous system is dorsal, hollow and single in case of chordates, whereas central nervous system is ventral, solid and double in case of non-chordates. In chordates, pharynx perforated by gill slits, and in case of non-chordates, gill slits are absent. Heart is ventral in chordates and heart is dorsal in non-chordates. A post-anal part, that is tail, is present in chordates. Post-anal tail is absent in non-chordates. Phylum Chordata is divided into three subphyla: Urochordata or Tunicata, Cephalochordata and Vertebrata. Subphyla Urochordata and Cephalochordata are often referred to as protochordates and are exclusively marine. In Urochordata, notochord is present only in larval tail, while in Cephalochordata it extends from head to tail region and is persistent throughout their life. Examples of Urochordata are Acidia salpa and Doliolum. In case of Cephalochordata is Branchiostoma, that is Amphioxus or lancelet. The members of subphylum Vertebrata possess notochord during the embryonic period. The notochord is replaced by a cartilaginous or bony vertebral column in the adult. Thus, all vertebrates are chordates, but all chordates are not vertebrates. Besides the basic chordate characters, vertebrates have a ventral muscular heart with 2, 3 or 4 chambers, kidneys of excretion and osmoregulation, and paired appendages which may be fins or limbs. The subphylum Vertebrata is further divided as follows. Vertebrata division is Agnatha and Ganthostomata. Agnatha, that lacks jaw, and its class is Cyclostomata. And in case of Glanthostomata, that bears jaw and its superclasses are Pisces and Tetrapoda. In the case of Pisces, they bear fins and their classes are Chondrich thighs and Ostrich thighs. And in case of Tetrapoda, it bears limbs and its classes are Amphibia, Reptilia, Aves and mammals. 4.2.11.1 class Cyclostomata. All living members of class Cyclostomata are ectoparasites on some fishes. They have an elongated body bearing 6 to 15 pairs of gill slits for respiration. Cyclostomes have a sucking and circular mouth without jaws. Their body is devoid of scales and paired fins. Cranium and vertebral column are cartilaginous. Circulation of closed type cyclostomes are marine but migrate for spawning to fresh water. After spawning within a few days, they die. Their larvae after metamorphosis return to the ocean. Examples: petromyzon, that is lamprey, and myxine, that is hugfish. 4.2.11.2 class chondrichthyes. They are marine animals and streamlined body have cartilaginous endoskeleton. Mouth is located ventrally. Notochord is persistent throughout life. Gill slits are separate and without operculum, that is gill cover. The skin is tough, containing minute placoid scales. Teeth are modified placoid scales which are backwardly directed. Their jaws are very powerful. These animals are predaceous. Due to the absence of air bladder, they have to swim constantly to avoid sinking. Heart is two-chambered, one auricle and one ventricle. Some of them have electric organs, example torpedo, and some possess poison sting, that is trigon. They are cold-blooded pyoculothamous animals, that is, they lack the capacity to regulate their body temperature. Sexes are separate. In males, pelvic fins bear claspers. They have internal fertilization and many of them are viviparous. Examples: Scalodon, that is dogfish, Pristis, that is sawfish, Carcharodon, that is great white shark, Trigon, that is stingray. 4.2.11.3 class Ostrichthyes. It includes both marine and freshwater fishes with bony endoskeleton. Their body is streamlined, mouth is mostly terminal. They have 4 pairs of gills which are covered by an operculum on each side. Skin is covered with cycloid or tenoid scales. Air bladder is present which regulates buoyancy. Heart is two-chambered, one auricle and one ventricle. They are cold-blooded animals. Sexes are separate. Fertilization is usually external. They are mostly oviparous and development is direct. Examples: marine, exocoitus, that is flying fish, hippocampus, that is seahorse, freshwater, labio, that is roo, cutla and clarier magur, aquarium betta, that is fighting fish, and pterophyllum, that is angelfish. 4.2.11.4 class Amphibia. As the name indicates, amphi means dual, bias means life. Amphibians can live in aquatic as well as terrestrial habitats. Most of them have 2 pairs of limbs. Body is divisible into head and trunk. Tail may be present in some. Amphibians' skin is moist without scales. The eyes have eyelids. The tympanum represents the ear. Alimentary canal, urinary and reproductive tracts open into common chamber called cloaca, which opens to the exterior. Respiration is by gills, lungs and through skin. The heart is 3-chambered, 2 auricle and 1 ventricle. These are cold-blooded animals. Sexes are separate. Fertilization is external. They are oviparous and development is indirect. Examples: bufo, that is toad, rana, that is frog, hyla, that is tree frog, salamandra, that is salamander, Ichthyophis, that is limbs amphibia. 4.2.11.5 class Reptilia. The class name refers to their creeping or crawling mode of locomotion. They are mostly terrestrial animals and their body is covered by dry and coniferous skin and epidermal scales and scutes. They do not have external ear openings. Tympanum represents ear. Limbs, when present, are 2 pairs. Heart is usually 3-chambered but 4-chambered in crocodiles. Reptiles are pyoculothamous. Snakes and lizards shed their scales as skin cast. Sexes are separate. Fertilization is internal. They are oviparous and development is direct. Examples: Chelone, that is turtle, Testudo, that is tortoise, Chameleon, that is tree lizard, Calotos, that is garden lizard, Crocodilus, that is crocodile, Alligator, that is alligator, and Hemidactylus, that is wall lizard, poisonous snake, that is Naja cobra, Bangarus, that is crate, and Vipera, that is viper. 4.2.11.6 class aves. The characteristic features of aves, that is birds, are the presence of features and most of them can fly except flightless birds. Example is ostrich. They possess beak. The forelimbs are modified into wings. The hind limbs generally have scales and are modified for walking, swimming and clasping the tree branches. Skin is dry without glands except the oil gland at the base of the tail. Endoskeleton is fully ossified, that is bony, And the long bones are hollow with air cavities, that is pneumatic. The digestive tract of bird has additional chambers, the crop and gizzard. Heart is completely four-chambered. They are warm-blooded, that is homeothermous animals. That is, they are able to maintain a constant body temperature. Respiration is by lungs. Air sacs connected to lungs supplement respiration. Sexes are separate. Fertilization is internal. They are oviparous and development is direct. Examples: corvus, that is crow; columba, pigeon; testacula, parrot; struthio, ostrich; pao, peacock; and appenditus, that is penguin; and nephron is vulture. 4.2.11.7 Class Mammalia. They are found in a variety of habitats: polar ice caps, deserts, mountains, forests, grasslands, and dark caves. Some of them have adapted to fly or live in water. The most unique mammalian characteristic is the presence of milk-producing glands, that is mammary glands, by which the young ones are nourished. They have two pairs of limbs adapted for walking, running, climbing, boring, swimming, or flying. The skin of mammalian is unique in possessing hair. External ears or pinnae are present. Different types of teeth are present in the jaw. Heart is four-chambered. They are homeothermous. Respiration is by lungs. Sexes are separate and fertilization is internal. They are viviparous with few exceptions and development is direct. Examples are oviparous, Ornithorhynchus, Platypus. In case of viviparous, Micropus, kangaroo; pteropus, flying fox; camelus, camel; macaca, monkey; ratus, rat; canis, dog; felis, cat; elephas, elephant; equus, horse; delphinus, that is common dolphin; Balenoptera, that is blue whale; Planthera tigris, that is tiger; Planthera leo, that is lion. The salient distinguishing features of phyla under animal kingdom is comprehensively given in table 4.2. Let us discuss the summary of animal kingdom. The basic fundamental features such as level of organization, symmetry, cell organization, coelom, segmentation, notochord, etc. have enabled us to broadly classify the animal kingdom. Besides the fundamental features, there are many other distinctive characters which are specific for each phyla or class. Porifera includes multicellular animals which exhibit cellular level of organization and have characteristic flagellated choanocytes. The Coelentratus have tentacles and bear cnidoblasts. They are mostly aquatic, sessile, or free-floating. The ctenophores are marine animals with complates. The Platyhelminthes have flat body and exhibit bilateral symmetry. The parasitic form shows distinct suckers and hooks. Aschelminthes are pseudocoelemates and include parasitic as well as non-parasitic roundworms. Annelids are metamerically segmented animals with a true coelom. The anthropods are the most abundant group of animals categorized by the presence of jointed appendages. The molluscs have a soft body surrounded by an external calcareous shell. The body is covered with external skeleton made up of chitin. The echinoderms possess a spiny skin. Their most distinctive feature is the presence of water vascular system. The hemichordates are a small group of worm-like marine animals. They have cylindrical body with proboscis, collar, and trunk. Phylum Chordata include animals which possess a notochord either throughout or during early embryonic life. Other common features observed in the chordates are the dorsal, hollow nerve cord, and paired pharyngeal gill slits. Some of the vertebrates do not possess jaws, that is agnatha, whereas most of them possess jaws, that is granthostomata. Agnatha is represented by the class Cyclostomata. They are the most primitive chordates and are ectoparasites on fishes. Granthostomata has two superclasses, Pisces and Tetrapoda. Classes Chondrichthyes and Ostisthyes bear fins for locomotion and are grouped under Pisces. The Chondrichthyes are fishes with cartilaginous endoskeleton and are marine. Classes Amphibia, Reptila, Aves, and Mammalia have two pairs of limbs and are thus grouped under Tetrapoda. The amphibians have adapted to live both on land and water. Reptiles are characterized by the presence of dry and cornified skin. Limbs are present in snakes, Fishes, amphibians, and reptiles are poikilothermous, that is cold-blooded. Aves are warm-blooded animals with feathers on their bodies and forelimbs modified into wings for flying. Hind limbs are adapted for walking, swimming, perching, or clasping. The unique features of mammals are presence of mammary glands and hairs on the skin. They commonly exhibit viviparity.